Hello, my name's Declan, and so can't, won't, should have, could have, would have, tried, never, impossible. Do you ever hear these words on your teams? Yeah? So sometimes I hear these words on teams I work with, and I know exactly what they are, and recently I've come to really recognize that these are victim words. This is victim speak. And if you're working with a team and you're hearing these words, then your ability to take that team to its true potential is going to be pretty limited. Until they can stop acting like victims, their ability to become a high-performing team is close to zero. So what do you do? What do you do about it? And one of the interesting things that I've noticed with this victim mentality is that it's real. It's real. People use words and they take actions and they reinforce this mental model of victimization that they have. So this victimization is real. The reality is they're victims of themselves. So if you want to transition them out of it, I think that the first step is to acknowledge it, normalize it, and reflect it back to those teams. It must really suck when Joe comes in and is micromanaging you. I could understand how that could be upsetting for you. Been there, man. And you know what? A lot of teams go through this when they go from command and control to Agile. It sucks. And at least what you've done there is at least recognize and that you're with them, that you've empathized with them and you've built trust. Because I found that a logical argument at this point doesn't work. Build their trust. Then the second thing that you can now do is start to move into this team taking responsibility. So the first thing I would do is something I learned from Michael, which is ban those words. Have an open team discussion about you don't use the word can't, you don't use the word. Ban those words from your vocabulary as a team. And then the other thing I would suggest having is having a retrospective or a learning session on the Chris Avery responsibility model. Have people understand the movement from what it takes to move from the blame game up to taking responsibility. And then look for the opportunity to apply it. Perhaps in a sprint planning session where you can see where somebody could take responsibility. My personal favorite is if you can get around a release boundary, because then you can set a scope. You can say, what can we commit to? What could possibly go wrong? And what are we going to do to prevent that? What are we going to go do to mitigate that? And finally, you can talk about, and what are we going to do as a team to improve? What are our smart objectives? So you can have the team taking responsibility for its own actions. So I leave it at this, being a victim is a choice. And let's help our teams choose responsibility.
Very good.